The Mars500 team spent 500 days locked away in a mocked-up mission to Mars. They had contact with the outside world, but it was limited to mission matters. So as you can imagine, a lot happened that they don't know about. Initially, we were all glued to our TVs to watch the heartwarming story of some Chilean miners who were rescued after 70 days trapped underground. There was some good news for the economy too, when most of Europe came out of recession. In the new year, though, tragedy struck when a massive tsunami hit Japan, killing tens of thousands of people. The whole world donated millions in aid. Later, people in some Middle Eastern countries decided they had had enough of their despotic leaders, and the Arab Spring began. There were revolutions in Tunisia and Egypt, and civil war in Libya. While the Mars500 crew stayed together inside, millions around the world watched two pretty famous royals get together outside. William and Kate's marriage was marked by a public holiday in the UK. 500,000 people came to London. Meanwhile, the US finally got their public enemy number one. Osama bin Laden was killed by a Special Ops Navy SEAL team in May.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda.
Later in the year, former Libyan dictator Colonel Gaddafi was killed after going on the run. While the Mars500 team were practicing at space exploration, the veterans of the real thing called it a day. NASA's space shuttle fleet is now retired, replaced by Russia's Soyuz rockets. China's making its own way to space too. Finally, if any of the astronauts are believers, as so many people are, I don't mean to ruin your mocked-up return to Earth, but there were rumours Justin Bieber may have had a baby with a fan. Rumours that were, of course, resolutely denied. And finally, Europe's in another financial crisis.
We're dealing with our debts, dealing with our situation, but we're also planning and prepared for whatever the world or whatever the Eurozone throws at us.
So there was lots of change while the Mars500 team were conducting their experiment, but some things stayed the same. And the Russian cosmonauts on board will appreciate this one. Vladimir Putin didn't change a bit.